with less than 3 weeks to the New York City Democratic primary for mayor, the top candidates will debate in person tonight. This face-off will be the first since a PIX 11 Emerson College poll showed former city sanitation commissioner Catherine Garcia storming to the front of the pack. And Catherine Garcia joins us now. It's great to have you on the show, in the studio.
I'm not really good.
We're all a little giddy.
Yeah. Not really good at this politics thing, but when somebody says storming to the front,
I'm worried about it, actually.
That's pretty good. It sounds like a softball question, but I think a lot of people want to know.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did you catch the attention of everybody in such a way when this was such an ill-defined field at the beginning when you looked at the polls?
I mean, I think it's a number of factors. You know, first and foremost, the New York Times endorsement and the Daily News endorsement really started to generate some energy, but we also finally got off Zoom and ended up being in person.
That'll do it, right?
That I think did make a difference.
I was wondering how in the world, as a guy that, when I got elected knocking on doors, shaking hands, planting yard signs. That's the only way I got elected. And I've just been wondering over the past year, how do people campaign without being able to shake hands, hug people, and just kind of get to know the person by looking at them and talking to them?
I mean, I think that's why we've seen so many undecideds for so long in this race, because people really want you to knock on their door and ask for their vote. They feel it's very important for you to be someone telling them what you're going to do for the city, how you're going to make it a more livable city, how you're going to get kids back in school.
All right, so how are you going to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You asked the next three questions.
I asked
Go
the
ahead.
next three questions. This is a moment when we are really facing serious challenges. We know that we need our economy reopened. We have to be supporting art and culture and restaurants and everything that makes us different than every other city in the entire nation. But that means kids got to go back to school. So that is why I'm going to move $130 million out of headquarters and into classrooms with teachers. We have to be safe on our streets. We need to be fighting gun violence, the rise in anti-Asian hate crime, and crime on our subways. People don't feel safe on our subways. They don't ride them. We can't make this work. And that's why I believe we should embed mental health professionals with our police officers to get that done.
So let's be more specific about that, because as you know, that quality of life issues are the #1 issue in any poll you look at, the same poll that has you at the top of this group. In terms of police, there has been this movement over the last year. There's been talk of defunding the police, that this plainclothes unit of New York cops was taken off and sort of given new jobs, different jobs anyway. How do you look at policing? Do you think we need less money given to police, or do you think we need more and just distributed more intelligently?
We need efficient and effective policing. So I am not saying we take money away from PD. I believe that they can be guardians of their communities rather than warriors against them, which is why they should live in the city. They should be a little bit older. But you have to have zero tolerance. And I understand what that means, because I've run a uniform agency. I understand what discipline means. That's tough but fair.
So what's behind, do you think, the rise in crime? The things you talked about, attacks on Asian Americans. We had another vicious assault a couple of days ago down in Chinatown, subway attacks, all the things, the quality of life, again, that New Yorkers are deeply concerned about. What's going on there?
So there are a lot of things going on here. One, it has been an incredibly traumatic year for everyone, and we have not been having the services that we need for people who are suffering from serious mental illness on our streets, in our subways. That is why we need to be using the tools we have, like Kendra's Law, to make it so that they are getting the support that they need. But you also have seen that we need people to get back to work. Very hard to commit crimes if you're getting up early to go to work.
When you say embed mental health professionals with police, what does that look like? So a domestic violence call comes in, the officers show up. Do they have in their squad car with them a mental health?
They have with them a mental health professional, because we want to make sure that that is the first line of defense, that they are de-escalating. But if things do not work out, that there are police to back up those social workers or psychiatrists.
You know, the problem that we face, obviously, is there's a problem with the escalation of crime and gun violence. And then there's also the problem of dealing with policing and police abuse, and we are still dealing with whether police use excessive force, and even worse, as in Eric Garner. How do you draw the line? I hear you say residency requirement, which certainly many of us agree, and older. How do you do that where you deal with the unions that you want to deal with residency requirement where you live in the city, which they don't want? And how do you deal with putting the age gap higher and then having this balance where police can deal with gun violence without being in many ways abusive, if not murderous?
And this is the real challenge, but it is also one that is solvable, because you get what you measure. When you are focused on the data and you measure community involvement and you promote off of community involvement, that changes the culture of an organization. And I'll tell you that I have worked with unions over my entire career at the city, and that's why the Sanitation Workers Association endorsed me, as did everyone else who's ever worked for me. I understand how to get at the table and make things happen.
Let me ask you this, because we were talking about it in the segment before you came on. We have placed a lot of homeless in motels and other places during the pandemic that now has to transition out and probably go back to shelters, many of them going into the streets because the hotel, motel owners want to be able to rent to tourists. How do you do that? Where, one, many of the homeless are not going to want to go. You're going to have an interaction with police. How do you manage that? You're the one that says in this race you're the manager. How do you manage a transition of thousands of people in a peaceful and I think flawless manner? I don't know if you can do it flawless.
And by the way, also balancing the property owners who desperately need to start making money again because they're a year behind on rent.
So this is where we have had a shelter-first strategy rather than a housing-first strategy. And that getting people who are homeless into a permanent home with supportive services so that they can deal with mental health or substance abuse issues is critical, because the congregate shelters don't work for communities and they don't work for the people who are homeless. I talked to someone who was homeless, or formerly homeless at this point, and she said, if you gave me 20 choices and I said no every time about going into a shelter, maybe you're offering the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Catherine, Jonathan Lemire is with us in the flash cam, and he has a question for you. Jonathan?
Sure.
Commissioner Garcia, I've been banished down the hall. As you will.
By the way, he's a New York voter and a parent. And when you say, get the kids back to school, he loves his kids.
Yeah.
But that still is music to his ears.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no objection there. I wanted to ask you about something else, though. As you well know, New York State, Albany, has an incredible amount of power over New York City, and the relationship between Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio is, shall we say, strained. You, on March 1st, after accusations of sexual harassment against the governor, called for him to resign. So my two questions for you are, one, do you still stand by that? And secondly, if he has shown no signs of quitting, if he's still in office and you're elected mayor, how do you work with him?
By the way, Jonathan works for the AP, but you can tell he's a daily news reporter at heart. Because when Mayor de Blasio is here, he's always asking, when do you take an SUV to go work out? The daily, you can take the boy out of the daily news. You can't take the daily news out of the boy. But yeah, how do you get along with the governor?
Nobody ever lets go of their Room 9 experiences.
Right.
But yes, I have still called on the governor to resign, but I'm practical. He is disinclined to do what I had recommended. But I also know that I can work with people because that's the job. And it's not just about the governor. It is also about the Senate and the Assembly. We need to have a strategy, because I know that there is a lot of power in Albany, and in order to get things done for this city, you got to sit down and make the deal.
Very good. I like it. So in terms of the pandemic and bringing the city back, we're the first in town after a year away, and see a lot of shuttered businesses. A lot of women have suffered in a big way, having to leave work, and many have not been able to come back. What are your thoughts on, first of all, how the government has responded to this and how you specifically could help New Yorkers get back on their feet? Because there are people, we're talking about a comeback, but a lot of it is new people or people who've been able to somehow survive this. There's, far more people who are still suffering or have no way back.
Yes, no, and the city has taken an enormous hit during COVID, both in the number of people we lost, the over 30,000 New Yorkers who passed away, but also we lost over 6,100 jobs in the city of New York. And we still are over 500,000 people unemployed in this city. And women have taken some of the hardest hits. And that is why we need free child care for people making less than $70,000, because child care is like infrastructure. You can't go to work if you can't get on a subway. You can't go to work.
So how are you going to make that happen?
So that is about finding the money, which I have identified in my plans, to fund both new child care centers as well as our nonprofits, to make it so that you have a safe place for where you can have your kid all day, and they're ready for school. It makes it better all around and is an investment worth making. But we also need to be supporting our small businesses. They're 50% of our private sector employment. They need zero interest loans. They need to have access to the public realm, as well as having a one city permit. It literally requires you to go to 7 different agencies, from buildings to the health department, to open a restaurant. That's the definition of crazy.